Rain is coming down, but it's time now to join our commentary team of Chris Patterson and Ryan Wilson. But first, Rory Hamilton.
Match week 4 in the BKT United Rugby Championship in the league's unity round to promote inclusion and that rugby is a game for everyone. Scotstoun Stadium hosts a match-up between the competition's defending champions, the free-scoring Glasgow Warriors, against the visiting Italians, Zebre Parma. Franco Smith is able to make 7 personnel switches from the game in Cardiff last weekend and still select a side with 14 internationals. Jamie Bhatti and Zander Fagerson come into the front row, while Euan Ferrie is the only uncapped player, joining fit again Rory Darge in the back row. George Horne and Adam Hastings form a new old half-back partnership, while Stafford McDowall is back and leads the Warriors. It's a much-changed Zebre Parma side, sporting 8 alterations from the defeat to the Stormers. Matteo Nocera brings up a half-century of Zebre appearances in a new-look pack that sees Giovanni Licata come in to captain the side. Gonzalo Garcia comes in at scrum half, with new centres in Scott Gregory and Fetuli Paya. Simone Jesse scored last week against the DHL Stormers. The Glasgow Warriors have won 25 regular season games at Scotstoun in a row. It's an intimidating place for visiting sides to come. Now under the stewardship of former Italian under-20s head coach Massimo Brunello, Zebre Parma have already caused a major shockwave in the URC this season. A fortnight ago, they stunned the mighty Munster at the Stadio Lanfranchi, giving one of the finest results in their history. And here comes Matteo Nocera on the night of his 50th appearance for Zebre Parma. The tight head who debuted as a teenager against the Glasgow Warriors back in 2019. Well, they were unable to back up that performance against Munster when they faced the DHL Stormers last week. An ill discipline was seized upon by the men from Cape Town. They will have to improve in that area if they are to have any chance of making another shock this evening. And out come the Glasgow Warriors, back on home turf, following a scintillating contest in the Welsh capital last Friday night. That went along at over a point a minute, with the defending champions running in 8 tries as the tournament's top scorers after 3 rounds. But with a trip to South Africa on the horizon, they'll be looking to make the most of home comforts in the final Scotstoun outing until the end of November. Adam Hastings will look to steer them on their way, wearing the 10 jersey. George Horne partnering him at half-back with Griffin Colby, the South African, leading the team of officials, Mike Adamson and Chelsea Gillespie, the 2 touch judges, and Horne Ferreira is on TMO duty. Round 4 in the BKT United Rugby Championship, and a night at Scotstoun Stadium that surely promises drama and plenty of tries.
Yep. Use.
George Horne feeds that all the way back and launched clear by Stafford McDowall. Triscantelli, and that was forward to Giacomo Ferrari. The first example, though, of how Zebre quite like it when it's fast and loose and get their wingers in play.
Yeah, Triscantelli as well, a fullback who's, I think, more carries than anybody else in URC so far. He's looking at the ball in hand, but actually Glasgow do really quite well just to hold the line. Nobody jumps out and frustrates Triscantelli. He wants somebody in the defensive line to come out and create a gap for him to run through there, but Glasgow Good kick, good length from Stafford McDowall, and a quality chase to start with.
You see a lot of it now, don't you? These 15s, they try and work infield and then get back out, try and draw a defender, and it's almost like a chest pass, like a basketball pass over the top to the winger. I've seen the likes of Glasgow do it plenty of times last week. Tell you what, that man putting the ball in the scrum, I'm excited to see how he goes tonight. He's been unfortunate, picked up a wee head knock, but he is another man that'll be chomping at the bit with George Horne.
Now here come the Glasgow backs for the first time, getting it all the way out to Jamie Dobie, who has been the starting 9 for Glasgow Warriors for the opening few games of the season, now finding himself utilising that versatility and playing on the wing.
Balls available.
He's had some pretty good outlet in whichever position he plays in. There's Rory Darge, another back from a head injury in the game here against Benetton a couple of weeks ago. Here's Stafford McDowall with the looping pass out to Johnny Matthews. Bumps off the first tackle, gains some extra ground, but the ball goes loose. And Luca Rizzoli was able to pick that up at the second or third attempt.
Good effort.
There's Giacomo Ferrari, who played number 8 last week, but he's now got the 6 on his back. Priscantelli up to first receiver. Darre involved, and so too Paya for Luca Andreani. Manages to secure that for Zebre Parma, but Jack Dempsey trying to make life difficult.
Use night.
Already a lot more control to Zebre Parma's game. The defence put Glasgow under pressure, forced a turnover then. It's a good take in the air, isn't it, by Glasgow? But much more control from Zebre, although they have lost out in the air, and this is where Glasgow come alive.
Bhatti onto Horne, and now the backs can look to go. Big looping pass to Cordero. Facundo Cordero starting in back-to-back games that look to just go forward off the fingertips of Adam Hastings, and we will scrum down for the first time.
Yeah, Glasgow really showing how they want to try and get wide. You got the likes of young Euan Ferrie, 21, 22-year-old. That just doesn't go to hand there. Adam Hastings going out the back. The so frequent shape you see from Glasgow Warriors, he just almost overruns it. But you see Euan Ferrie there, that ball out wide to Johnny Matthews, I think it was, or Facundo Cordero.
Yeah.
The 21, 22-year-old Lucy, that not a huge amount of experience, but he's got the confidence to just throw that ball over the top, Mossy.
And the ability to as well. It's flat and hard, 30-metre pass perfectly on the button, but because that ruck was in the wide outside and Glasgow went to that attacking shape, you could see the yellow jerseys coming up much quicker than we looked at before the game, just getting in Adam Hastings' eye line, just doing enough to try and put a bit of pressure on that Glasgow attack. So the defence so far has definitely improved.
First Zebre Parma scrum, they've had some issues with their set piece in the last few games, but now managing to free up some space out wide. Simone Jesse, and up to the 22, just trying to release himself, but it's the Glasgow Warriors who get enough bodies around him, the winger, to drag him into touch.
And again, that's exactly what we were talking about downstairs. If Glasgow can just find a way to slow the ball up. You see Stafford McDowall there, he's a big man, he's 6'4".
I actually think if Priscantelli puts this through his hands a little bit quicker, Jesse gets a bit of space on the outside. There's a tumble pump there, just holds onto it because Kyle Rowe's turned his back. If Priscantelli really attacks Kyle Rowe's back, makes him turn in, he can free Jesse, but well covered in the end, wasn't it, by Glasgow?
They swarm him, they get all around him. Kyle Rowe, Adam Hastings, Stafford McDowall, just find a way to latch onto that ball. That's never coming out of there, and then they find a way to drag him over into touch. Just trying to have a look who's down on the far side there.
Huw Jones back up to his feet.
Yeah, he's had a few niggles, hasn't he, already this season. I think he picked up an injury in that tour with Scotland. Struggled a little bit to come back from it. There you see it there. Once they're in, once they're latched in, I think he's just I think he's just sore from everyone falling on him, isn't he?
He's having a laugh at the replay. The whole mall falling on his ankles, never nice.
It's a 50th URC game for Huw Jones this evening, having made his debut 7 years ago. A try-scoring debut against Edinburgh. Now Jesse underneath it. Priscantelli.
All right, tackle!
Garcia playing at scrum half for Zebre Parma, coming in for Alessandro Fusco. And it will be a Zebre put in, or a penalty rather, and go quickly. Garcia.
On the chest. Tackle! Release!
This time it's Paya. And back into the forwards. Dare. When he got his arms loose there, he was looking for the offload to Licata, the captain. Just couldn't quite get the ball on. They will go again here. Priscantelli floats that out and taking that pace, and Jesse again getting the opportunity to attack out wide, but now it goes loose from Trula.
Yeah, George Horne penalised, retreating back, and just can't help himself get involved. But Zebre Parma look threatening attack. We've already seen Priscantelli, Trula, that man in your picture, and Simone Jesse we spoke about earlier on. They're so key to how they play. That's the right winger passing to the left winger, and they're causing a lot of threats. I actually think Zebre are a little bit skinny at some of the breakdowns. I think there are turnover opportunities for Glasgow if they really attack that ball, because Zebre want to be in their feet, they want to play that attacking brand of rugby, but maybe a chance to be exposed at one or two of the breakdowns. But they're certainly started the game really well. And was mentioned inside, they don't score points early, they really struggle to score points in open 20 minutes, so they will be looking for a reward for this good start.
But over the top it goes. Rory Darge, the man, to pick that up for Glasgow Warriors and start this exit. George Horne kicks from the base, and it was touched in flight, so Glasgow will have the put in at the line out.
I think a positive start by Zebre. I know they've obviously made a mistake of that line out and they'll be frustrated by that. They have to take their opportunities, but like you said, Mossy, they're getting the ball wide, they're getting it to the right areas. They've got a slightly different attack structure than Glasgow. You notice the three forwards in the pod, they hit the first man instead of the middle. And then when he puts the ball out the back, it just takes out, it makes Glasgow just hold for a little bit longer, giving Zebre that space on the width.
Adam Hastings couldn't quite wrap the ball up, and now Zebre Parma can commit players to that rock, but going straight over.
Is that a harsh penalty? I think they win the space and then there's no one to hold them up. This is the line of attack. It just goes to Decky, just a connection between McDowall and Hastings there. And Paya comes in attack. Actually, I'll have another look again, but it looked as if Zebre driven over and then collapsed. It's a bit of a mess, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is a mess, but you're right, Mossy. It's quite harsh on them. I'll give you that. But you can see what Glasgow are trying to do. Just not accurate enough. That ball at the back, and that, I suppose that comes with these combinations we spoke about, Mossy, is time in the saddle together. Stafford McDowall, he played so many games last season, pretty much every single game right up until that final. He was involved in a lot of minutes. It's good to see him back out there and captaining the side as well. Here it is.
Got that out nicely, and now space opening up for the Glasgow Warriors.
This will come wide again, I think.
Zander Fagerson trucks one up the middle. Horne surveying options. Quick ball again for Glasgow. That's gone down.
All right, Liz.
It's Cordero popping up on the far side wing on that occasion. Priscantelli again going in at first receiver.
Zebre are really narrow. It looks like they're shaping the kick, but they're really narrow. There's only one player outside that, so if they do kick, if it's not accurate, there'll be an opportunity for counter-attack. Scrappy. We spoke about Simone Jese and his attacking prowess. There's a really good shot on his opposite number, Facundo Cordero, on the far side that dislodged the ball after Glasgow found a bit of attacking shape from the first phase. It's quite scrappy, isn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, I think we expected that. It looks like the rain's
gone off and the wind's
just gone off, and yeah, but it's a greasy old ball out there, and both teams just forcing things a little bit. Maybe it's early doors. Zebre trying to get the offloads going, and you just think, keep hold of it, try and go through phases. But you're right, Mossy, when those box kits, they're really, really tight. If Caro takes that and Glasgow can get the ball wide early doors, and this man over on this wing nearer us, Facundo Cordero, the Argentinian, will be having a field day.
Goes straight down and leads to Glasgow Warriors penalty. And this is where they can gain their ground and set up the driving line-out maul, which has been so effective for a good few years now.
Yeah, it really has. The line out for Glasgow, for me, you can just see his near side going down to his knee. But the line out's not been functioning as well as he would have hoped, Franco Smith. So, again, something they want to work on, tidy up. Again, Gregor Brown not an out-and-out second row, I'd say.
They are getting tries from their line-out situations, but as you say, Ryan, they haven't been quite as accurate with their percentage successes. But now, right in the middle of the 22, Johnny Matthews sends that back. It's Jimmy Bhatti has to dive on the ball to recover that.
No left of the ball, Leon.
There's Zander Fagerson. Dempsey with a big fend off. And it will be another penalty. Decision time for Glasgow Warriors, but that quite often means to pop one to the corner.
Yeah, it doesn't look even as if they're considering the 3 points. It was an unfortunate move for Glasgow because they actually created the space for that three-phase move, and Kyle Rowe run at the space, but the pass never found him. So it'll be a bit frustrating, just a little bit off in terms of the execution, but the three-phase, it was a clear structure with the three-phase play that did create a space, but it didn't just quite get the ball to the space at the same time.
You can see it unfolding, can't you? You can see it so well unfolding here on all those strike plays. Like we said, this maul, they'll be looking to roll this one over. There was no thinking about the 3 points.
Well, in their last 3 home games against Zebre Parma, Johnny Matthews has scored 2 hat-tricks and a double, 8 tries in 3 games. He didn't even start a couple of them, so it's some effort.
Pressure's on.
It is indeed. He's attached himself to the back of this maul. It was into the hands of Dempsey. You can bet now it's managed to filter its way back to the hooker. Johnny Matthews just fighting for an extra yard or 2, and Glasgow Warriors are over. It's a familiar sight. It's Johnny Matthews who rises from the base of it, and no prizes for guessing the first scorer of the night. Johnny Matthews does it again.
Right, come on, boys. Is he getting a hat-trick? Mossy, is he getting a hat-trick?
Well, he had to be patient for this one, and he actually did really well because they got the one-stop call because Zebre defended it reasonably well, but then he just finds a way. He keeps his discipline. He resists the temptation just to peel off early and go on his own because he trusts the players around him, and then he just sniffs out the space right through the middle.
Yeah, and you can see Zebre, they defend this near side really well, but the back edge, you just feel it's going to break, and in the end he ends up going through the middle. But if you can't plug that back edge, if you don't get enough bodies behind it, the inevitable is that it will just roll over the try line, which it all have done so many times for Glasgow Warriors.
And it's the full 7-pointer as Adam Hastings adds 2 more.
Yeah, it just pops right through the middle. It must be so aware of where the space is. You try and sense the space. Is it left? Is it right? And then very seldom is it right in front of you in the game of rugby, but he just knows where it is and he gets another try.
He's great at taking them. I used to close my eyes in there. I wouldn't know where the try line was.
So Glasgow have had to fight for that, but getting their first try of the night. Here goes Dempsey. It was great to see him back last week.
He's so powerful, isn't he? That fend. And as a player, as a defender, you know it's coming, but sometimes it's just unstoppable. You don't know how to get around it.
Backwards.
Comes back to Horne, and then he just rather flung it at Scott Cummings, who wasn't expecting it. Horne will kick from the base again. And a tester for Priscantelli. It's a bouncing ball, bit of hesitation. And it is Leonard Krumov.
Carter's fine.
Managed to get it, but it's Glasgow's ball here with the counter ruck. Dempsey onto Cordero.
You pulled away.
Matthews into play scrum half. Now, Gregor Brown playing in the second row this week with Euan Ferrie coming into the back row. Fagerson, who's had plenty carries already. McDowall, first receiver, and now breaking through goes Huw Jones. Horne with one pass, the 1-2, George Horne. Glasgow Warriors opening up the defence and under the post now, so close. The scrap is on to get the ball back here.
No, leave it.
They need to come left. There's a walk in. There's a walk in for Scott Cummings, Facundo Cordero and Jack Dempsey on the left there.
The communication hasn't got all the way to the rock. The crowd are adding some vocals to this. Zander Fagerson dips low. He's just short. Horne now through the hands, and Dobie is the recipient. 2 tries in quick succession for the Glasgow Warriors as they start to build their lead.
Oh, there's some brilliant offloading, some brilliant support lines, and just naturally an attack started by Huw Jones, breaking this tackle. Short ball this time because of the line speed coming from Zebre. Short ball to Huw Jones, he rides a challenge, gets up, then keeps the ball alive. George Horne back to McDowall, he gets it back, and he thought the opportunity just as Kyle Rowe brilliantly tackled, millimetres short, and in the defensive effort from Zebre he thought had been enough, but Glasgow kept their composure, they kept their control. They did go the wrong way, they went to the right, but it didn't bother them because that man scores in the corner after a wonderful hand from Stafford McDowall under real pressure. It's just class, isn't it, when you break the line and you have your composure and the quality to finish off.
Yeah, you look, Huw Jones, he's powerful, isn't he? Manages to keep his feet. I think it's the captain, Giovanni Licata, that tries to pull him down, goes for the whole body, and just gets shrugged off by Huw Jones, who starts that attack.
Well, that's a wonderful conversion as well, to add to that free-flowing try from the Glasgow Warriors.
Well, it took about 6 phases after that to pop on there. That really quick hands from Stafford McDowall. Jamie Dobie deserves credit for keeping his width and getting that communication in as well. But it just comes from the power, as you say, of Huw Jones's break. But then the composure. You know, usually if you break the line and you have a 40 or 50 metre line break, you expect to score within 1 or 2 phases. Credit to Glasgow for keeping the composure.
I did think it was cynical at one point when they were playing the 9. It looked like they were playing George Horne, I think it was, and you thought there was a card coming at least, but the hands from Stafford McDowall so quick. There's not much that Jesse can do there.
4th successive start for the first time for Jamie Dobie, and a 3rd try of his season, scored against Benetton and last week against Cardiff. Now adding Zebre to that list.
Stay on, 4.
Here's McDowall. Yeah, solid clearance.
Yeah, clinical, good clearance. We spoke about Zebre's early start and an impressive start they had in the first 7 or 8 minutes, and we also said that they're a team that's failed to score in the first quarter of the game they played. I think scored a try in the first quarter of any game they've played this season, and you can see the net effect of that good start for them just being almost worthless because they couldn't capitalise with points on the board.
Ribaldi with the throw. Garcia to Paya.
The ball's there.
Ferrari. They do tend to come alive in the second half, Zebre Parma, when only Leinster and Glasgow score more points than them, but they could do with sorting out the opening quarter. Stafford McDowall leading the counter ruck there for Glasgow Warriors. Dobie tries the little hack down the wing. So it is Zebre that get it back.
Ball carrying going low.
Time taken on by Krumov and Ferrari again. Again, the counter ruck comes from Glasgow, but Zander Fagerson not allowed to play the 9.
Yeah, clearly a tactic that Glasgow are looking to use, disrupt that breakdown as much as possible. You saw Stafford McDowall over the far side there. It just shows the mindset, the mentality. They don't just rest on their laurels. They're not happy with just defending. They could do that, but they want to go after the breakdown. They've obviously seen something in the week. They've been told go after him, but that time there, you see Zander Fagerson just in playing the 9.
Good tackle there on the ball from George Horne, slows everything down, and then, as you say, Zander Fagerson driving through, taking it 9. Sometimes, I mean, is Garcia the 9 there, or is he just a support player over the top?
He didn't even touch the ball yet.
Yeah, it's I do agree with protecting the 9, but I think if you're part of the ruck, then it's a different story.
In the 5.
Andreani flings that pass out, couldn't find the teammate. Well, it is now Scott Gregory, and it'll be a Glasgow Warriors penalty, side entry in at the ruck. Just a bit untidy there, Zebre Parma.
It's again great shot by Zander Fagerson, but Rory Darge just really quick in there. He sees a split-second decision. There's a gap that opens up, and he's so quick to get in on this ball. But just looking at Zebre there, you've got to be more clinical, especially when you're away to the champions. You don't get many opportunities. You've got to be more clinical with that. It looked like when they broke out, they weren't too sure what was happening, but man, Rory Darge quick to pounce on that one.
The first 2 set-piece attacks in the first 5 or 6 minutes, in a similar area, I think one was scrum, maybe one's line, were executed really, really well. So you just see the kind of psychological effect of going 14 points down and just maybe not having the confidence because you've lost those couple of tries. That looked as if they didn't really know or understand or communicate the move particularly well.
Towards the tail, it was a really good leap by Euan Ferrie. There's Rory Darge hitting the line. Ferrie, and now Bhatti. He gets it loose and on to Kyle Rowe.
Yep, good contest.
Cordero had to save that loose ball. Cummings. Horne. Matthews, and Kyle Rowe just puts it down. So it will be scrum down. The man wearing 15, he's more often used as a winger, so filling in for the excellent Josh Mackay at fullback.
I spoke about Glasgow's work at the counter ruck, but Luca Rizzoli, the loose head prop, had a couple of big efforts there at that counter ruck, just disrupting Glasgow's ball. Michael Smith always looks the same, I think. They were, like, early on in the game, he's just handsome. No, it was certainly that, but it just looks as if he's, I don't know, like, quite frustrated. Is that the right thing?
I think we maybe consider that with the Benetton game as well, which they won very convincingly, but I think that's the standards that have been set here are so high, and supporters arrive here almost expecting perfect rugby every time.
I think so, and no disrespect to Zebre, but back in the day it wasn't a game that really got a massive amount of support here at Scotstoun, but you can see the seats are full. It's a great evening for everyone. Loves a Friday night at Scotstoun. Glasgow are playing a brand of rugby that they want to come and watch, so testament to those people in the stands coming out on a wet night. They certainly are putting on a show, Glasgow. They've managed to get that maul try, but also play some nice free-flowing rugby.
Here's a challenge for Zebre. I think, you know, it's come, but the last set piece play went to deck and returned over a penalty. So what's important for Zebre here is to get a foothold in the game and execute something that really threatens Glasgow's attack.
Giacomo Ferrari with the pass out to Gregory, and now Trula joining the line. The two wingers linking, and Jesse can't get his pass back in field.
I mean, if we get a look back at it, it's almost missing a player, isn't it, Mossy? Because when it gets to, I think it was Trula that went out the back, he managed to go across the field, just takes the defence with him. It doesn't give that man an opportunity to try and get a breakaway.
I think it's really good defence on Jamie Dobie as well. You know, just the nuance of defending a wing can be quite difficult. The end defender, Jamie Dobie, that's a pass. That one checks a little bit, but then Jamie as well, because he's covering 3 players. He lets Jesse make his decision and then shuts down that pass. Good defence on the edge.
Hastings to Jones now. Dempsey in the back line. A wrecking ball. He's still going. So impressive. Leaves the ball, picks it up. He's just all action. And Kyle Rowe takes Glasgow a little further. Zander Fagerson knows one way, and that is to go straight.
Zebre definitely coming up much quicker in defence, shutting off the outside pass, the long pass to the edge.
Fagerson again, a second carry from him in a couple of phases. George Horne maybe a little isolated, but the ball does come back on the Glasgow side. Advantage coming here for the Warriors, and it will be the penalty to pop, you would think, once again to the corner.
Some good carries there.
Time is off. Captain.
Just have a look back here. Look at Jack Dempsey when he gets this ball. He's just like a man possessed. He doesn't stop pumping, shrugging people off. Realises that he's not been tackled and he can get back up. But he's just so powerful, isn't he, in the way that he carries the ball. Like a man possessed. He's a madman. He's a madman on and off the field, that bloke. But what a signing for Glasgow Warriors. He's been fantastic. He's a huge, huge player to have in that final over in Pretoria. But he just gets better and better, Jack Dempsey, for me.
Incredible talent, incredible, top level player. The penalty's actually been turned over. It was a no-arms tackle or no-arms clear, I think, from Glasgow 4, I think he said. The penalty was originally for Glasgow for an offside, I think, coming into the side. And there must have been some foul play. I think it was, well, I think he said Gregor Brown, Glasgow number 4. No arms. This is quite clever from Zebre, just slow it down. Look how long they're taking. They know that momentum's all with Glasgow, and they need to kind of get a foothold in the game. Just take their time, execute their skill.
Here it comes, Garcia to Paya. Well, down goes scrum half Garcia.
Accidentally playing the 9.
There's a penalty coming when they need it. Well, Garcia goes down again. Loud blast and quickly taken by the scrum half, but he will be called back for the first penalty.
Glasgow have to be a wee bit careful. That's the 3rd penalty for
affecting delivery of the ball.
Playing the 9.
Play number 9.
Zander Fagerson pushes through here, but the that's a bit dangerous to put Andreani back onto the 9. But Adam Hastings had been pushed onto the 9 and was
thrown,
begging that the referee was thrown over. But it's 3 penalties for the same offence.
I get you. I'll have a look for that. Yeah, so
he's doing me past the ball. I just push him off me.
It's fine if you counter, but if you counter and you play the 9, then I have to penalise this. So if you counter them and they fall on the player, it's fine. But if that one was fine, right? Yes, yeah.
So the second one was fine.
Yeah.
Would you be going for points here, Mossy?
I can understand why they are, just in terms of the context of the game and the rhythm of the game, and having that good start early on and not getting anything for it. I mean, it doesn't really threaten Glasgow's lead, but it gives them a foothold. It gives them something to work from, and a couple of penalties in a row, take your 3 points. I can understand why they do it. Although if he gets a chance to kick it.
Well, the clock ticking down for Giacomo Ferrari. He stays calm, slots it through the middle in the first points of the evening for a smiling Giacomo Ferrari.
Yeah, chipped over, and Glasgow kicked off on their way ready.
Tackle good.
Again, even that for me, Mossy, you know, Glasgow do it week in, week out. As soon as someone scores points against them, they back up the other end of the field, they go quick. You look at Zebre, they're walking back, they're not ready to go. You think you would have looked at that in the week and been saying to your players, right, they get points, they'll be going quick, get back as quick as you can. It's just those little moments.
Stop the ball between players.
Not only that, but they've kicked out on the full after the ball being taken back in the 22, so understand why they take the 3 points and get that full home in the game, but then the next two actions have been poor.
It will give Glasgow another really good attacking platform inside the 22 with the throw here. Matthews goes to Ferrie at the front. Now peeling off comes Darge. Hastings. Into the line comes Kyle Rowe from fullback. Gregor Brown gets the pass away to Hastings. Now Cordero. He's got 3 defenders to beat. Manages to scramble up to the 5-metre line, and Bhatti saw the blitz defence coming. And he knocks the ball on.
Yeah, it's Licata. I've said it 2 or 3 times. It's a. Jenny asked before, like, what can Zebre do about their disappointing defence last week? And it was just get off the line much quicker, get on your feet and come up. Just the pressure that Licata puts on here by getting up ahead of the line on Jamie Bhatti forces the error. It's a risk, but when your defence has been so poor the last couple of weeks, it's a risk worth taking.
Yeah, it is a risk, and you just think just a subtle set of hands that put someone through there, though.
Let's go.
So they've got to be careful, Zebre, but Glasgow, for me, just there, they just get over the gain line every single time. Stafford McDowall coming down, and Huw Jones off of Rory Darge coming out the back of that maul, and then Kyle Rowe getting over the gain line, and then just a little subtle ball out the back to Hastings. They just find a way to get over the gain line, and that is it. That's it in a nutshell. If you can get going forward, get momentum, and a team like Zebre, who have been pretty poor discipline-wise, will start to make mistakes. They managed to get out of jail there. Can they get out of jail here with this exit?
It's a bit of space. If they get a decent scrum, actually, Cordero, the left wing for Glasgow, is coming up now.
He's going to come this way. Garcia dips under one, then Trula almost away, but that's really good defence from Cordero.
Someone's put Ferrie liquid on those balls.
That's good from Cordero, because he dropped back initially. His initial starting position was about 10 metres back from the scrum, and I think actually spooked Garcia into taking that space, but he'd closed the space a little bit, and then that's a last-ditch tackle on Trula. It was really well, Cordero. Just almost like a game of cat and mouse. Don't show the attack, the clear picture in defence, stay on the move, almost force them to come into that channel, then make the tackle. Pretty clever from the left winger, but it's a good job, because Trula, we've seen him finishing from there if he kept hold of it.
Garcia did well, didn't he? Almost acted as if he was going to kick that one. George Horne rushed up, managed to step inside and break the tackle. I think if he just held on to it a little bit longer and pumped it and took Cordero on, Trula might have been down there doing the gritty again.
You
know what the gritty is, Rory?
I certainly do. I watch my NFL. There's McDowall and the 2 centres combine with Jones, and now it's out to Kyle Rowe. Dempsey.
On the ball, tackle.
So to Ferrie.
No.
Now Cummings.
You're off now.
Quick hands. McDowall puts on the accelerator. Gregor Brown gets that onto Dempsey. Lovely soft hands between the back row.
Take the tackle for number 3, please.
Now McDowall. There's a check on the tackle from Nocera. There's Brown again. Scott Cummings. Glasgow knocking on the door. It feels like a matter of time. Again, Kyle Rowe has been heavily involved, popping up in all sorts of attacking positions. Now it's Rory Darge, runs into his opposite number in Andreani. Warriors set the line up again. Zander Fagerson with a show of power, but just short. It might well be now for the try, and is for Huw Jones. Back at Scotstoun Stadium, and Huw Jones gets the third try for the Glasgow Warriors, and that was just relentless pressure that was always going to come without one outcome.
I'm not sure who it was that made the tackle on Huw Jones, but he was definitely protesting that there was not a try. I'm not sure what's happened here.
Priscantelli, I think he's claiming it wasn't grounded.
That's fine.
There's no separation there.
It was the look on Huw Jones's face that made me worry at first.
Yeah, wasn't sure. Actually, really good, clever play from Glasgow, because they've identified that Zebre are coming up really, really hard. They're holding their depth, they're holding their feet, and then they're just taking the direct route more often than not and keeping possession. Adam Hastings had one or two really almost delayed passes, one to Kyle Rowe, one I think to Gregor Brown, that just brought the defence up and allowed that carry to get over the advantage line. So a good example of the team thinking on their feet on the field.
So Hastings 2 from 2 so far, and keeps his 100% record. Huw Jones scores in back-to-back games.
Yeah, he's played well already tonight, Huw Jones, but for me it was the carry just before this one from Zander Fagerson. It's Euan Ferrie took a big shot earlier on in the set of play. He manages to get over the gain line, and then Zander Fagerson, I thought he was going over. The damage was done, and Huw Jones just needs to use that subtle little footwork of his. He's done well tonight. He's managed to get himself a try as well.
5 minutes left in the half. Glasgow Warriors have 3 of the 4 tries required for the bonus point. Last week, Zebre Parma found themselves 29-0 down before they hit back with a late try. Far too much to do, and Priscantelli ran into his own man there. That creates the scrap for possession, and it is Zebre that have it. Priscantelli now finds Paya, and Jesse, the little chip on, covering the ground though, and Dobie gets it back from McDowall. And goes Rowe to play scrum half.
On the shoulder tackle. Use 9!
Horne will clear the lines for the Warriors.
I got no clear touch.
Another really clever piece of play from Stafford McDowall on that edge, just to keep the ball alive.
I'll give you a chance. Give you a chance.
This Priscantelli running in to his own player. I think it's Andreani.
There's been a couple of those. Earlier on he had one here where you could tell he almost thought that the line that was coming back were going to take the ball. He didn't even end up going up for it. It's that communication between that line that's coming back towards you and you coming forward to take it.
Are you scrum off? Are you receiver?
Let that ball bounce.
Okay, cool. Be in the line out, please. Are you receiver? All right, gentlemen. Too many people out of the line out before throw. Just do it over, please, okay? So, out too early. Wait for throw.
It's a technical issue. One of the Glasgow lads was asking the referee if it was a red card. It should be a red card because he left the line out too early.
Yeah, the gap is good.
The referee Cole would just give him a chuckle. He's refereed well. His debut performance so far in South Africa.
Ball!
Goes into the hands of Zambonin. And up to the 22 comes Zebre Parma.
Yeah, but look at Gregor Brown in there. He's on the ball. That's brilliant by Gregor Brown. He's broken through the seam. And it looks like Zebre have got the roll on with this maul. but they know full well. Gregor Brown is saying it as well to the referee. I've come through the middle, I'm on the ball. And once you're in there, you can hang on and do what you like. But you look at the way that he cuts through that front seam, he gets that right arm through, gets the hip through, and he's on the ball pretty early on. And once he's in there, you do not need to move. He's telling the referee, and he can go down with it. That's really smart play by Gregor Brown.
I think it's Licata who, for Zebre, who hits the ground first, and I don't think there's much need for him to almost.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he almost kind of slowed them. All was going really well, and he hit the deck. And I think the ball almost fell over him a little bit.
Well, Gregor Brown and Alex Samuel's development is going to be accelerated now, with Richie Gray announcing that he'll be departing come the start of December. So it's it seems like the amount of game time that those two second rows have had, and under the guidance of Richie Gray and Scott Cummings, who's now the senior partner in there, they've had enough game time that they're now, do you think, in that position, Ryan, to step up and be starters in the big games?
Yeah, certainly. You know, Richie Gray's decision, it's a big one for the club, big one for him, but he opens up the way for some young talent coming through. And you look at that bench with Alex Samuel and Max Williamson on the bench. There's two fantastic locks there, and they played really well. And Gregor Brown, like I said, he's not an out-and-out second row, but Franco's really, really positive in managing to find ways to play players that he can play 6, 7 and 8, Gregor Brown, but then you get him in the boiler house, which is something that I'd never want to do. And suddenly you give yourself so many more options, and it sets you up for when you get yellow cards, etc., when there's injury in games. So he's always got to plan that man, Franco Smith.
It's Huw Jones again with a floating pass out to Cordero, but he's annoyed with himself as that comes off the outside of his left boot. Back for the advantage.
JP Dupree as well, who's been out long-term injured. Kind of similar stature and height and to Richie Gray to come back into the mix as well. So there's a lot of talent and experience in that position.
What's scary is I think he's got 2 inches on Richie Gray. He's a big man, old JP Dupree. I think one of the tallest rugby players in the world.
It was a
I think
serious knee injury, wasn't it?
Yeah, looking around December, I think.
Yeah,
for the big fella to come back. It's been a tough old laugh with injury for big JP Dupree, the South African, member from the Cheetahs.
Number 3.
Nigel Carolan there, you can see as well, the attack coach. The man behind that Glasgow Warriors attack, those set-piece plays that everyone loves to watch.
6.
He's sending down the messages. Let's see where this one goes.
No, not going backwards.
Well, it will be for Adam Hastings, not a ball he would have been particularly keen to have to go and get, and it will be a Zebre penalty as he held on for too long under pressure.
Yeah, Andreani did well to get his hands in the ball. Adam Hastings just trying to buy himself time as well to pick up the loose ball, and he's just trying to buy himself time so he can get a proper ball placement away. Tally number 7 gets his mitts on the ball.
Thank you.
Just too high for Cummings. The tackle comes in, and then there he is, the blue scrum cap, his hands in the ball. Clever play by the open side, wins the penalty. Zebre will try and hunt for someone just before half-time, final play.
Look for their first try of the game, or to build on the last 3 that they got, but it's Glasgow's ball. McDowall, Huw Jones spins out of the tackle from Trula. He did have 2 outside him. Yes, Dempsey. Now being driven back by Paya.
Good tackle. Into
his own 22. That might just kill the momentum of the Warriors' counter.
Use! Yeah.
And George Horne deciding enough is enough for the first half, and 3 tries from the Warriors. Johnny Matthews opened it all go up, and then Jamie Dobie and Huw Jones added 2 more before Giacomo Ferrari added 3 points for Zebre Parma. And at the break at Scotstoun Stadium, Glasgow Warriors 21, Zebre Parma 3. Zebre Parma, who haven't won in the URC outside of Italy since November 2019, almost 5 years. Adam Hastings to get us back underway for this second half. And taken by Zambonin.
That's a ball! Backwards once! Yellow to ground. Ball is out, ball is out.
Garcia, the ball was out and Johnny Matthews saw him and absolutely crunched the scrum half. The Warriors think that they've got it, but in fact it is a Zebre penalty.
The ball was out, holding on.
Yeah, Johnny Matthews' eyes lit up there, didn't it? The referee says ball was out twice, and poor Garcia just doesn't know. Johnny Matthews come from behind, he has no idea. He's thinking about clearing the ball and whack. Turned over. Zebre do manage to recover and win the penalty though, so they can clear the lines, but Johnny Matthews sharp as ever.
Yeah, it's not very often that you get players charging down from that side of the ruck. Usually they
There's nothing worse though. When you get hit from the blind side, there's nothing worse when you're not expecting, is there?
Oh, that was it, and that's where the whole feud between Munster came in, because as you dive across the player to charge the ball down, accidentally taking out the standing leg. That was the only reason there was a feud, Mossy. That was the only reason.
Can imagine. 2 penalties back to back for Glasgow. They'll frustrate them at the start of the second half. Allows Zebre to effectively in about 3 seconds of rugby make about 60 metres or 70 metres upfield.
I get you. I'll have a look for you.
Taking their time getting to the line as well. Zebre Parma. They're still about 8 or 9 metres away.
Sit.
So Ribaldi's throw, and it's not straight, and well, that's really frustrating for Zebre Parma after getting those back-to-back penalties and creeping their way up the field.
There's nothing worse, is there? You look at the backs out there, they'll be so frustrated. They managed to find a way to work their way up the field, and then...
I don't think it was that bad. I think...
it's just because he's almost drifted across a little bit into the middle.
I think because
which made it look better.
The first movement from Zebre, kind of jumped out of the line as well. The dummy jumpers jumped out the way, so it kind of made it look even worse. But yeah, frustrating.
Coach.
Glasgow looked to come alive. This blindside we spoke about in the first half about Zebre attacking Jamie Dobie's looking as if he wants to come down this right hand side.
Going off and no break foot. Going off and break it away.
Well, it's
that's why you went down.
Zebre that will get the free kick here.
Yeah, so they're just looking there.
Going quickly as Priscantelli. And then Paya hits the line hard, sensing an opportunity here. Zebre Parma. Nocera on his 50th appearance. Now Dere and then Paya once again.
No, left of the ball.
Krumov, Dere helping it on. But it does go forwards.
It's really quite clever from Priscantelli, wasn't he? Came and took the free kick really and almost ran at the retreating Glasgow players to try and get that free kick into a penalty for not being back 10.
The picture I had was they had a break in the tunnel, like I requested in the beginning of the game.
I was just wondering about the referees just...
What I saw was you didn't have a break foot and you guys went down.
Excluding the last scrum, the result of the free kick because there's no break foot. Good recovery from Glasgow in terms of defence. Adam Hastings a really big tackle on play. I think 13 that stopped the momentum.
For me though, you look at it, Glasgow's defence really narrow.
But don't fade out and go backwards, okay? Take
narrow.
Sorry.
It's a break foot issue.
Yeah, they're talking about Johnny Matthews' break foot earlier on.
There it is.
The hooker has to have that down for when the scrum comes in. He's saying that's why it went down earlier. But for me, Glasgow's defence really narrow, but it can afford to be because Zebre's attacking width doesn't look that wide. Got to find a way to just get outside it. That Russian defence of Huw Jones coming up on the outside. Great Zebre scrum.
Angle. You can't dominate.
No, it's not.
It's an angle.
It was great because they were doing something illegal, but this is a worry. Johnny Matthews is...
He's not had his hat-trick yet, he can't go off.
It was an awkward, wasn't it? The speed at which the scrum went down on that angle there, so...
The reason why I do it is your number 3. First things first, he comes on an angle.
Yeah, no chair.
And he's jumped on the number 2, that's why he's injured. So speak to number 3.
So as Johnny Matthews receives a bit of treatment. Of course, this week has been dominated by the news that the home leg for Glasgow of the 1872 Cup will be being played on the south side of the city at Hampden Park with well, up to 50,000 spectators should Glasgow Warriors be able to sell that out. A very positive, dramatic development in Scottish rugby, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's fantastic for the club. You look at when we go over to Murrayfield for the Edinburgh leg, it's always held inside the bowl, inside Murrayfield. So for Glasgow, it's just the natural progression, it's the natural step, almost outgrowing Scotstoun here. So for a big clash like that and a huge game, and the players are up for it, they want 25,000 players, 25,000 fans, sorry, there to watch that game just before Christmas. I think it's fantastic, and in such a football-dominant city that Glasgow is, it's fantastic to see rugby getting bigger. And Glasgow looking to grow the game in a different way at Football Stadium, but
yeah, a lot of teams do it, don't they? Quins in England jump up to Twickenham, and obviously Leinster and Munster played tomorrow in the front of a near on 80,000 set of fans in Croke Park. It's a brilliant place to play with Jay-Z to keep that penalty in field, and a couple of changes as well, but Zebre on the counter-attack.
Incredible skill from JC then. It just slipped through the hands of Zambonin. Zebre penalty, Glasgow offside, and so the penalty count just going against them in this second half. There has been a couple of changes. Euan Ferrie is off and Alex Samuel on, while Luca Andreani makes way for Jacopo Bianchi.
He's missing touch as well. One each, Kyle Rowe bangs it. 50-22 could be on here. That could be an incredible nudge from the fullback.
Bouncing towards that touchline, but fielded, and it will be a Warriors put in. I think it's actually Max Williamson that has come on in the number 19 jersey.
Giacomo Ferrari missed touch with a penalty, and then quick as a flash, Kyle Rowe got all the way down. Oh, Scott Gregory's foot touch the line there? Not sure. This is a wonderful piece of play from Jay-Z. Starts off the field, so he has to land on the field. He does. He keeps the ball alive.
What's going on? What's going on? Okay, so we can play. If it's not clear fast, we play on. Let's go.
Yeah, quite right. Keep the game moving.
yeah, Johnny Matthews there asking Mikey Anderson if his foot was in touch, having a discussion. The rest asking what's going on, but Glasgow don't need it that far up. They can get this maul moving.
Well, up goes Scott Cummings. Johnny Matthews at the back of the maul. There's advantage coming. Did some real damage there, the maul. McDowall. Now Hastings with the long pass. Rowe gets smothered by JC.
Collapse.
Yeah, Glasgow got that maul moving really quickly.
Thank you.
As soon as it was caught, it was down, it was on the move.
Collapse.
Which makes it much more difficult to defend against. It's a frustrating one for Kyle Rowe as well, because the whistle had gone.
He's outside, we're gonna continue.
Jay-Z had made the tackle. I don't know if he just maybe twisted his knee or got his leg caught under the tackle, so it didn't really have to follow through with it. When you think about the net effect of Daré missing touch, you know, 80 metres up the field, 2 penalties later, you're in that 5-metre territory with Johnny Matthews rubbing his hands together again.
Correction on the substitution. On has come number 19, Max Williams.
Glasgow just showing that maul's a threat, even 30 metres out. If you can get that rolling, it just gets you access into this 5-metre. That's a great take, and exactly as the place you want it, middle to back.
Taken by Brown at the back. Now Matthews has it. The Warriors about 12 metres out here. It will be for the backs to have a go. McDowall first up to charge. It's a little isolated.
No left.
Here is Williamson. Brown again. We'll move into the back row with Max Williamson coming on. There's Huw Jones. difficult one for Dobie to take. He did so, but then the ball was ripped from him. Forward it goes.
Zebre have got a couple of issues here. Giacomo Ferrari put a massive hit in, and he's really struggling. His shoulder, it was early on in the phase, and he's going to need treatment. It doesn't look like he's going to be around as well. I think Glasgow will be a wee bit frustrated with it. With the attack there, the maul obviously got stopped, and then there's a lot of the attack just across the front of Zebra's defence, and Zebre are defending well. Again, that's the third or fourth time we've seen JC strip the ball, attack the ball in the tackle.
Yeah, I think if they don't find their way over the gain line, then they seem to be just going side to side. I think Zebre will be happy there. They've managed to find a way to hold them out and defend them. But yeah, you're right. If they don't get that front foot ball early on, they almost need to find this edge, manage to get that plot of 3, and then find a way to get over and then go again, don't they, Glasgow? But you want to try and make dents also whilst working your way to this edge.
Yeah, absolutely, you want to try and Zebra's defence has been so much better than it was. You know, in the last week they've averaged 30 points, conceding 30 points every game. That's way too many. But they're certainly much more robust here. I think this is Ferrari here with just a right shoulder. Almost got caught, didn't it, underneath Jamie Bhatti at the same time as Zambonin's tackle as well. It looks like he's going to soldier on.
I was going to say when he went over, he hit Jamie Bhatti, I think it was, and he's on the wrong side. I was going to say he's not rolling away, but the big fella was in a bit of pain. Shrug it off, did the old Sean Lamont, do you remember that one?
South Africa.
They pretended to have a dislocated shoulder and pop it back in.
The old lethal weapon.
Sorry, Shawnee, if you're listening, but that was never out.
Yeah. You just wonder how effective Ferrari's going to be in this attacking phase, or he's still really struggling. He's holding it. He's obviously desperate, want to keep him on.
Just stay left. Okay. He'll stay left.
I'm not sure if you can even bind in the scrum. You can't sit there, just the right hand side.
Oh, he's just swapped.
Get to the open side and use your left shoulder.
Keep the elbow up. Stay straight.
He's going to have to hit the first breakdown with that right shoulder.
Glasgow should put loads of pressure on this scrum. Don't give Zebre an easy option to get out that corner. Decent effort.
The pickup comes from the back at Licata. He's done well.
Great carry.
And Garcia. It's Krumov. Afters between Williamson and Ribaldi, I think. Taken by Dobie. Now looks to search for space as Kyle Rowe hitting the ball at pace. Horne, Hastings, Matthews, what a turn of pace from him, taking on the winger Simone JC.
Backwards!
Williamson, it's a loose ball that will now be picked up by Kyle Rowe. And the chips in behind, looking for space.
Yeah, good option, good execution. It won't be at 50-22. It's short of 22 anyway, but it was moved back into Glasgow's half. But it's the right thing. Glasgow lost their shape. They actually looked really good and quite sharp in attack. But as soon as this ball hits the ground, there, all bets are off. In terms of your shape, your understanding. It's a really good decision from Kyle Rowe just to turn Zebre and make them play at their own third again.
These players trying to put their hands up for inclusion in the autumn internationals and Gregor Townsend's squad that will be named pretty soon.
It's fine, relax, it's fine.
A lot of competition for places. Goes Krumov.
Halt! Once!
Away by Garcia. Tester for Cordero and well measured by the scrum half.
Yeah.
Warriors thinking about going quickly. In fact, it did go out on the full.
Direct.
Yeah, it's twice it's happened. It was right on the edge, wasn't it? Whether it was at the 22 or not. And I think Cordero did really well
put Zebre on the line.
Just to be on the off the field, so you could judge whether that ball had crossed the plane of touch or not.
I'll give you a chance.
Yeah, he's just getting his bearings. If you stand there, it's clever. You can get your bearings of where the ball is, where the touchline is. Good decision.
Ball!
Williamson with the take. Darge onto McDowall, great step. Gains him an extra 5-6 metres. Dempsey, though, is carried backwards.
Now play on.
Cummings, oh, and it's Huw Jones! The timing of the pass from Cummings was perfect. Huw Jones hits the gap. It's a double for Jones. It's 4 for the Glasgow Warriors. They have their bonus point and they stretch further clear.
I was almost about to say it's gone a bit stale. And then a lovely little delayed pass there. Just holds on to it to Scott Cummings. It's a great ball right across the front from George Horne. It's a brilliant ball, isn't it, Bossy? That's the doing of it.
Yeah, there's that pass from the base here. It takes out 4, maybe even 5 defenders, and a brilliant little shift to the outside from Scott Cummings. But then it's such a hard skill what Huw Jones just did there to not to get to the where you want to be too early. Hold your feet, keep your discipline, and then accelerate onto the ball. The timing of the pass is perfect. It looks so simple. It's not. It's really clinically finished. Brilliant pass from Horne. Brilliant pass from Scott Cummings, and a really good finish from that man for his second, Huw Jones.
Straightforward conversion as well for Adam Hastings.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders taken out by a wider pass.
And then on the back of all that, you've got Adam Hastings going out the back of Huw Jones. So I think it was Jesse just couldn't bite in too hard, because there's always the option that it could go out the back. It's a really nicely worked try there. Like I said, George Horne's pass across all those numbers. The danger of that is whether someone picks it up and goes the length on the intercept.
New front row for the Glasgow Warriors. Jimmy Bhatti, Johnny Matthews and Zander Fagerson have gone off. Grant Stewart, Nathan McBeth and Patrick Schickerling, who makes his Scotstoun debut, came on in the game against Cardiff down in Wales last week, but first outing on home turf for the new signing. Zebre playing with advantage. Zambonin. Garcia quite happy to take the penalty, are the visitors.
Side entry at the ruck, yeah.
Another big carry, the kick-off from Jack Dempsey.
Side entry, wheeling around ruck.
Glasgow in the front foot almost got away. He was just dragged down after beating the first couple of defenders, and then from the box kick, Glasgow came into the side, and again Zebre Palmer just need to try
the ball, swinging around the ruck, not going to the middle.
Stop the momentum that's coming against them. There's Ferrari still battling on with that right shoulder carry. The penalties conceded before this point, so no advantage from the chip kick to come back.
All the way to the tail, and Licata couldn't gather it. Up went Dempsey, and then into the hands of
it's
McBeth.
Outside. Use.
Called outside by the ref there, so this needs to be on the money.
And just drifting, I think the wind might have taken that on its way. George Horne out on the full.
Yeah, it's a third one too for Zebre, one for Glasgow, all on that far side of the field, and the flags are fluttering pretty strongly. You can see on the top of the stand at that far side.
Change at hooker, so Luca Bigi's first job will be to throw into this line out as he replaces Giampietro Ribaldi.
Loads of experience, Luca Bigi. Internationalist, been around a long, long time.
In the 5.
Somebody to take at the line out.
East to the middle.
Now getting some go forward. Zebre to get the ball out of there, and it isn't coming, so it will be a Glasgow put-in.
It's Cummings and Brown again. And it's Cummings eventually gets his hands on the ball, but Gregor Brown working really hard in there. There was a suggestion that Scott Cummings had changed his mind, but I don't actually think he was in the wrong side of the ball, so he was entitled to do so.
Yeah, it's something they work on a lot, more defence, and they've done well there. It's just such a good weapon to get yourself out of a bit of trouble. Managed to break through the seams. It's not always about going up in the air. You see Zebre, they take the ball at the front there. But those two are putting a shift tonight. Gregor Brown, for me, he's done brilliantly. All you have to do is break a seam, and then it gives the access into the ball. And like you said, Mossy, earlier on, I don't think Zebre needed to try and take that one down earlier, but they did. And you start to panic when you feel like someone's through and it's on the ball. There's not much you can do.
George Horne spots the space up the blind side. Now chips over the top. Horne on the chase. In the foot race. Oh, it's really well done by Priscantelli. Oh, but now given away. Warriors ball. Can they execute in the 22? Cordero.
Oh, pick up.
There goes Gregor Brown. The defence at 6s and 7s. Hastings to Schickerling, and down it goes.
Great scramble by Zebre. Managed to get all the players back behind the ball really quickly. Now they can go. Oh.
The ball's loose, but Scott Cummings will be disappointed to hear the whistle that goes back for the scrum down to Zebre for the knock-on.
How sharp is George Horne? That decided, brilliant awareness. He knows that Garcia has left that short side. He knows the winger Tool has shifted infield, and it must only be 2 or 3 metres of space up that left-hand side. Then his pace after the chip kick was brilliant, and credit to Zebre for the scramble defence. A brilliant pickup from Gregor Brown after 1 or 2 phases. But you're right, Ryan. Zebre had gotten back. Here's the break. Look, Garcia, the night goes. George Horne notices that Garcia's left that space. Ferrari doesn't know if the back of his scrum. George is there. Brilliant attack, heads up rugby, but well defended. Priscantelli does really well.
That's just credit to Glasgow's attack. Those phase plays of a set piece, they'll look to go wide there. So he's just trying to sneak an extra bit of space, isn't he, Garcia? Trying to help his 10 out so everyone can push out a little bit and try and defend the width that Glasgow want to attack with. But George Horne's noticed it.
It's great. I mean, we see so many games of rugby and so many teams that just play to a structure, play to a system, but all coaches will say, take the first available space, and if there is space here, you don't have to stick to the system. Take it, back yourself, and it's exactly what George Horne did. And it was,
let's go, set up.
Well, Priscantelli was up to it at the end. Really good piece of play.
That was almost. Do you remember Gareth Bale when he did that in the El Clasico? Ran all the way down the outside of the pitch.
Stand back on.
Crouch. There's a couple of changes.
He's still getting his breath back.
Alessandro Fusco replaces Gonzalo Garcia.
Yeah, both
and
teams.
Matteo Canali comes on for Giacomo Ferrari.
New players, just wait for the call. Yeah. I'll have a look. New players.
Who's eating all my Skittles?
You've got one left, isn't it? What are you worried about?
Someone's eating all my Skittles.
The call is slow. Let's wait. Crouch. Bite. Sit.
Fusco on a scrum half.
Wait. Yeah.
Clearance to be taken by Kyle Rowe. Opportunity here for the Warriors. Trying to spot a gap in the defence. Firing up. Tackle being made by Jacob Bianchi.
There was a tackle a lot earlier on than that.
It's McBeth. Schickerling. Back in field from Hastings to Dempsey. McBeth onto Rory Darge. Williamson, Hastings, McDowall, and then Dobie.
That's fine.
Looked high on the tackle on Dobie. There is penalty advantage here. George Horne running off the shoulder of Patrick Schickerling. Back we go for the penalty.
Yeah, I wonder if they have a look at this one. I think it's this quick ball here. Jamie Dobie looks like he just gets one slightly high. Oh no, it's just around the neck. That's seatbelt tackle.
Yeah, it's Jesus' tackle. Derry put the shoulder in. He didn't wrap particularly well, but it was below the ball. And it's just more pressure building for Zebre in the bottom, you know, in their own third. I still think Glasgow will be frustrated. They just aren't quite dealing with that increased line speed as well as they would like from Zebre.
What do you think the Zebre mindset is now, Mossy? Like, just nothing's really going their way. They can't find a foothold into the game. Is it just try and keep the scoreboard low?
I think so. Obviously, they'll be trying to score points themselves, but I think it'll be like how another heavy defeat can affect their season quite, you know, considerably. So they'll be determined not to concede anymore. That'll be the first goal.
Now Grant Stewart might fancy a try of his own here, just on the field. The replacement hooker trying to weave his way towards the line. Glasgow Warriors have got another one. It is Grant Stewart. And that tried and tested line-out ball does the job again for the reigning champions.
He's back at Scotstoun, back at Glasgow for his second spell. Really nice work try there from Glasgow. I think Scott Cummings takes it and they build it nicely. And you see the backs come flooding in, try and add a bit of weight to it. Stafford McDowall built more like a back rower, and they just find a way to break it down. Zebre's defence is all over the shop. They're working in ones and twos. You've got to work as a unit there if you're getting behind them all. It's that man, Grant Stewart, that manages to snake his way through, so known as Cheese.
Well, a bit of a miscue from Adam Hastings there. First miss of the night from him.
What a nickname, Cheese.
Well, he was patient there. Rory Darge ahead. Nathan McBeth helping it. You're right though, you see Zebre defending as individuals, isn't it? It's never going to stop that.
Cheese, fromage, whatever you want. There's a live wire.
I dare ask the reason behind the nickname.
It's actually not that bad, I'll tell you later.
Well, Gregor Brown and
16 inside.
Jamie Dobie have gone off. Ben Afshar and Henco Venter, the two to come on. Fusco misses out Trula to Dere.
Play on flat pass.
Licata, the skipper. That one goes straight down and straight onto it is Huw Jones. And now Rory Darge versus Briskintelli. On to George Horne to finish it off. George Horne is so open in the right place at the right time. And the tries are flowing again for the Glasgow Warriors.
Some brilliant support.
I had the player on the side.
Darge is the supplier, as is Huw Jones, but I think we're going to go back and check whether it was onside, whether it was a knock-on. Let's have a look. Licata does really well to break in behind and in. Adam Hastings, does this hit his hand? I can't tell at that speed, but quick as a flash, Huw Jones into Rory Darge.
Go yourself, Darge. You've got the legs.
Right, thought Darge should have kept going, but George Horne always supporting the inside. Unselfish from Darge, clinical from Horne.
Try stance until I get something from the team also.
The replacement for Glasgow Warrior, off has come number 4.
Try is going to stand until TFO says otherwise.
I don't know if it's the throw from Adam Hastings afterwards on just here, throws him to the ground, but I don't think it's anything.
Well, it wasn't offside because it was a tackle, it wasn't a ruck.
So, but I'm happy it was onside.
Yeah, it's just whether it's knocked on, but you can't tell at that speed.
Okay.
You have until the kick-off
Should I stop time and that formal
for
reviews,
the
or
television match official to confirm, not the conversion as it was previously. You still have until the kick-off's taken.
Hastings takes the score to Glasgow Warriors 40, Zebre 3.
So this is going to now be looked at.
Alright, 5, let the player outside, let those clear knock on. So we're just going to do the knock on, leading up to the try, please. So we're just checking if there was a knock on.
From number 3, Matteo Nocera, to number 18, Euan.
So Adam Hastings is allowed to play the arm. He was onside, but he can't play the ball.
There was one other angle we saw just there, we saw it once. Would it give you a clearer picture? Was it this one? Does it hit the top of the ball?
Yeah, you're right, there was another angle though, wasn't there?
Yeah.
This is the one.
This is the one.
It's a knock on. This is going to be a strong cancel with try.
Yeah.
That's not going to count for George Horne. Try chalked off.
No try. Knock on.
The Glasgow players saying they played the arm, but you can see.
Do you think he knew all along? Adam Hastings is just a big smile on his face.
No.
And sorry to the fans for wasting everyone's time.
The score remains Glasgow Warriors 33.
Should have been Rory Darge's anyway. You didn't think he had the legs? Did you not think he had the legs to go?
Well, I did, yeah.
That's a proper back rower though, selfless, just giving the glory to the backs.
Ben Cambriani has come on to replace Giacomo Ferrari.
So Cambriani's gone to the wing, Trulo's gone to fullback, and Priskintelli's gone to 10. So it's a bit of a reshuffle for Zebre Parma.
Number 23, Ben Cambriani.
Both players, okay? Keep the elbow up. Don't go on the arm and pull him down, okay? Thank you. Set.
So if we talk about the mindset of Zebre Parma, try and keep the score low. And if you flip that to the other side of the field, Glasgow Warriors, Pete Murchie up there wanting a clean sheet, making sure they do not let them in. Little things like that. 15 minutes to go, you start to work on the things you talk about when you come into huddles. Let's make sure we keep them out.
It was 38-26 when they met here in May. The game before, Glasgow Warriors launched that incredible run all the way to lifting the trophy in Pretoria. There's Hastings in making a mess of the Zebre attack.
Yeah, that's a great turnover. Great turnover.
Some more.
Well, and you can hear how much the Warriors defenders enjoyed that one. No surprise, the man at the bottom of it all, Jack Dempsey.
But you watch who starts it. Adam Hastings, I think, after, is it Trulo that breaks a few tackles? Adam Hastings comes in and just grabs hold of a shirt and tries to keep him up. Just here, you see the fight in him. Stafford McDowall coming in, lending a hand.
Good work.
It's the work of those two. Jack Dempsey, here's Maul. Great work. They're so good at it in Glasgow, aren't they? They've got a way to defend everything. They can try and slow the ball down, they can go high, they can try and choke tackle, but also just as good as putting a man on the deck and getting someone over the ball.
Yeah, the key to that is everybody's doing the same thing. If you've got 3 or 4 defenders in and around there and 2 are trying to bring the player to the ground and 1 or 2 are trying to hold them up, you fight against each other. Every one of the Glasgow players knew what the other player was doing or trying to do there. And working together to create a turnover.
It doesn't just come by luck either. The amount of work they put in after gym sessions down here at Scotstoun. They'll be up on the dojo mats with Pete Murchie, finding ways to get little systems going. Everyone has to go through it. They work on all these little bits so much. And that's why I think they're one of the best teams in the league. Not just in attack, but in defence.
Damiano Mazza has come on into the centres. Fatuli Paya has made way.
They're having a good time.
That's where all your Skittles went, Ryan.
Hastings with a little dink over the top, didn't quite get it right, and then Cambriani onto Trula.
Tackle! Leave it now!
Fusco's pass, and Trula hits the line at speed.
On the chest tackle for Beach.
Hastings and Trula again there.
Yep.
Zebre Parma looking for their first score of the game. Did get the 3 from Giacomo Ferrari in that first half, but yet to cross the whitewash. Now it's Canali. Briscantelli. Canali again.
No clear release. It's not clear enough.
Results in the penalty.
Briscantelli is a real threat, isn't he, whether he's at 15 or whether he's at 10. I mean, he started almost at fullback, but he came in at first receiver whilst Daré was still on the field anyway. He's now playing in first receiver position, and he's a threat. Oh, he's missed touch. Well, he's not missed touch, has he?
I think he has just made it.
A knock on, I think. I think Kyle Rowe was almost done a brilliant job, but he's actually kept it in, but knocked it forward, so it's going to be a scrum to Zebre. We'll have another look here. He's kept it in, but thrown it forward, yeah. Yeah, Briscantelli, you said, I think he was a big, most carries in the league, wasn't he?
55 carries, 10 more than anyone else, is quite incredible.
Yeah, he gets himself involved, he's a threat.
More offloads as well than anyone else in the Zebre team. Now up at first receiver, more influence in the games.
So I give you enough time to adjust. Give you enough time to put your head in the space. Get a nice hit. If you need more time, make it up.
Fusco inside him. Scrum half's a good player as well. 2 tries against Munster.
It's the same pressure, but it's 500.
Another, well, he's an Italian internationalist. You can see that both there just trying to figure out what the play is here. 5 metre scrum, you'll have forwards wanting to try and drive it over, you'll have back rows trying to want to pick it up, but it's up to the 9 and 10 to make the call.
Just get your feet underneath yourself. Don't overthink. Just remember your break foot.
Seconde! Zambo sotto!
The best chance of the game so far for Zebre Parma.
Crouch!
To see if they can get their first try.
Bind! Sit!
In from Fusco and Licata. Gets his hands on it, and the captain with the pickup.
Strip play on.
That has been stripped though.
Stafford McDowall.
It's also a maul. Once!
Glasgow just need to keep moving it up. Initially really nice by Stafford McDowall, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really good. Fusco actually tried to block make the space or block the channel for Licata to pick up and go through. There's Fusco backing into Ben Afshar, but Afshar does really well to bounce out and make the tackle along with Hastings, and then it's just perfect identification of the ball from Stafford McDowall. Just gets in, rips it, but it gets caught high. He's never going to get that down. What he did do, really importantly, was make those extra metres after being called the maul, so the scrum's further away from the Glasgow line this time.
It's Alex Samuel on for Scott Cummings.
The replacement for Glasgow Warriors off is coming number 5, Scott Cummings.
Good shift for Scott Cummings.
Number 20, Alex Samuel.
Big workload, doesn't it? Scott Cummings.
Yeah, he gets through a fair shift of work. Gregor Brown. Another 2 young locks on. We spoke about earlier when spoke about Richie Gray leaving. These 2 young fellas in the second row that can definitely do a job for a few years to come now, that's for sure.
So Fusco encouraged to get the ball out of there. Cambriani off his wing. Fusco then sends it back out to the right-hand side. It's Canali again, who's come with a bit of impetus off the bench. Adam Hastings clinging on to the ankle. Now Krumov. Samuel with the tackle. Biji, the latest carry. Canali again, or rather it was Bianchi. Not a lot of momentum in the attack from Zebre. They scored late against the Stormers last week, took some individual brilliance from Simone Jesse, but he's unable to get his hands on the ball on this occasion. Fusco once more looking to break through. 7 or 8 metres out.
It's the mullet off. Trula versus Cordero. Who's got the better mullet?
Penalty given.
72 minutes in, let's get right behind your team. We are Warriors! We are Warriors!
Captain, I'll have you guys a fair go, okay? But your players going to shout at me like they're doing at the moment. I'm going to deal with it, okay? Speak to your players. They cannot shout at the referees at the moment, as they do, okay? Thank you.
Zebre have got a penalty, haven't they?
They do. Just lining up a kick to the corner.
They must have been very happy with it because they've been shouting at the referee. Dogged defence, wasn't it, from Glasgow Warriors there, Alex Samuel. A couple of occasions where he got in, ripped the ball or tried to hold up. So you're looking for that impact immediately off the bench. Schickler with a big tackle, and I think it was on Bianchi at the far side as well. Zebre, if they're held possession and they're asking questions, they're making Glasgow defend.
I'll tell you what, Adam Hastings' defence tonight, he has made so many tackles. I'd love to see the stats on that. He has just been in amongst everything, and I'm sure there'll be a part of him looking at Tom Jordan, who I think is the most physical 10 in world rugby at the moment. Like, he goes hell for leather, does Tom Jordan. And there'll be a part of Adam Hastings watching him going, OK, let me go and see if I can stand up to that. Let me see if I can go and replicate that. Because clearly Franco Smith likes what he sees in Tom Jordan. But Adam Hastings defensively tonight has been fantastic.
And he'll be right in the channel here. This 5 metre scrum. Matza, if you look at the... You can almost tell with body language, the man in Matza, the 12, is just eyeballing Hastings. He's now having a word with Priskinter at 10, just in the middle of the scrum. He fancies this channel there. He fancies maybe a flash, a flat ball off 9 going forward. Try and get so flat that you take the backer out of it and you make it a 1-on-1 5 metres out for the goal line.
Equally, George Horne's now on the wing, saying, well, if Dobie can do it, so can I.
Oh, well, it will be a Warriors free kick. And Hastings goes quickly. Priskintelli.
That's great thinking by Adam Hastings. He's screaming for that ball.
You're going to create counter-attack if he kicks this. Priskintelli
keeps it in the hands. It is now Trula looking to go round the outside. Cambriani. Warriors fancying it on the counter.
We've just been talking Adam Hastings up for his defence and how he's gone about that, but that's really good, quick thinking by him. He's been screaming for the ball, puts it long in behind the defence. Just unlucky there. Rowe just bobbling that high ball.
So, before the game, I told you not to push on the shoulder, push backwards, one bind. So, tight it. Yeah. Tight it, starting on the shoulder and pushing on bind. Not allowed. What he's doing is not allowed. Starting on the shoulder, pushing back.
I keep seeing the coaches, the Zebre coach, Massimo Brunello, and you know, it was 21-3 at half time, 33-3. I mean, there's elements of the second half I think he'll be happy with, but he won't be as happy with this week as he has been maybe for a couple of the early rounds of fixtures. Much more difficult for Zebre to get that momentum on the road, I suppose, but they've not offered a huge amount this evening.
There's Matza. Managed to get the ball away, and now JC. Horne closing down the space. Now looking to pick up, get him into touch. They managed to keep the ball in play. Fusco now.
They are Rowe and Trullo again.
No, you're keeping him in, number 11.
Briscantelli. Out it goes to Zambonin.
No, ball still in, no, ball still in.
Slow ball for Gregory. And now a bit of pace on it for Fusco and JC. Well, Kyle Rowe with the speed and the quality of tackle to get JC into touch just when it looked like the winger was going to unleash.
I think JC stumbles a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
It's good from Fusco picking up that short side, pumping it and drawing Kyle Rowe in, but there's a stumble from JC, and then that's all it needs for Kyle Rowe. I think Kyle Rowe would probably have gotten back anyway, but give him a chance.
Simone and Jesse, he can shift, to tell you that, but Kyle Rowe just does enough to get in his eye line, doesn't he? Almost causes him to stumble a little bit. Knows he's there. Well, that's it. Glasgow still fighting hard to keep that clean sheet.
They're going to have to keep fighting here because that's gone forward and into Zebre hands again. More defending to do. Almost gluttons for their own punishment. But they do enjoy this defence, Glasgow Warriors. They will have a penalty to face.
No, it's not.
Luca BJ asking for more. It's not getting it, just a penalty.
Well, let's get a word on your BKT URC player of the match this evening.
Yeah, well, there's not been too many stand-up performances. Quite a scrappy game in some ways, but there's been definite moments of quality. I think Stafford McDowall for Glasgow has been really effective in that midfield channel. I think Jack Dempsey, we spoke about some real powerful carries. Giovanni Licata at number 8 for Zebre, but with 2 tries this evening, that man there is the BKT URC player of the match. A try in either half, touches the real quality. He looks frustrated himself, doesn't he? It's maybe just because he's desperate for a hat-trick, but big moments, big impacts, and a touch of class from Huw Jones.
Yeah, and it'll have been important for Huw Jones to hit the ground running tonight because he'll be wanting to make sure Gregor Townsend's got him in his mind. He's certainly done a fair bit to put some thoughts into Gregor's mind for those autumn tests. Here they go again, Zebre.
Bianchi with the first carry. Has that one gone forward? It certainly has. And Glasgow might just get that clean sheet.
Yeah, that will please Franco Smith as much as any of the tries, keeping that one out.
It's an error from Zebre though, isn't it? Actually, it just dives to the ground. It's not even a tackle there, I don't think, and then the ball's not presented that well, and it's a knock-on from Rizzoli. He still looks frustrated. Bonus point went at home, of course, will be happy. Now, I get the impression that I don't think he wants a perfect performance, because he always wants to improve and look for areas to improve, which is excellent.
You've got a tough old trip coming up to South Africa. Now we're thinking about making sure he gets as many of these players through this game. On that flight down to Durban, I think it is first.
Yep, Sharks and Stormers next up for Glasgow Warriors. That'll be a real test.
Comes at a good time, I think, though, for Glasgow Warriors before everyone breaks for the autumn internationals. A trip away for a couple of weeks.
Get in the middle. Get in the middle. It's the middle. Down there, go on.
I'd fancy that, wouldn't you? A little trip down to South Africa, Mossy. Oh.
I bet the next thing I hear is that you've been playing golf in South Africa. That'll be...
It's work.
Samuel, and now Stewart. Out from Afshar, now Hastings. Horne. Well, they've got the extra numbers out wide. Horne deciding to delay. Too much risk in the pass. Afshar. And now Cordero. This is JC. Final play of the game. Priscantelli looking to work some of his magic. Trula,
Thank you.
likewise.
On the chest tackle.
Well, the Warriors will be determined to
Tackle is out.
make sure they don't concede a try.
Keeping the ball alive, Zebre, aren't it? Trying to create that little bit of space, try to get Trula or JC on the ball with a bit more space, but Glasgow defending really well again. Seen that hold-up tackle work on a lot of occasions, try to win that turnover. Just running, just losing their shape, Zebre.
Priscantelli delivers the pass to Krumov. And they're not giving up. Zebre Parma. Tackle comes in from Huw Jones, the player of the match. Gregory and Krumov. They're not getting too much ground here. Biji. Canali.
Must be about 2.5 minutes of phase play here.
Well, they're having to work very hard for not a lot of ground. Glasgow have it. Venter with the take, and Horne says we're not putting that out of play. McDowall, oh, and it allows for one last big hit to
Tackle.
be made. Afshar waits. Glasgow have the penalty.
Yeah, fair play. George Horne, a really good pass, wasn't it? He just doesn't want the game to end. He wants more. And they've been rewarded with a penalty, so they'll take their time. They'll get the breath back after that mammoth defensive effort and have one more push for another try.
Hastings takes play into the Zebre half. One last attacking opportunity for Glasgow. He's played the full 80. Adam Hastings, Tom Jordan remaining on the bench. Samuel's take. Darge out to Dempsey. Now here come the backs. Excellent timing on the passes. Rowe to Horne, and now Hastings. Just one last one into Afshar that doesn't go to hand. Zebre under pressure, but it should be enough to see out the game from here, which Fusco decides to do. And there goes the full-time whistle. Glasgow get what they came for. 5 tries and 5 points. With no tries conceded, a convincing win expected for the Glasgow Warriors, but they go out and deliver as well. The full-time score at Scotstoun Stadium: Glasgow Warriors 33, Zebre Parma 3. Yeah, Chris, there's an expectation in these games. Glasgow have this incredible record against Zebre, 59 points now out of 60 available in home games against the Italians, but you have to go and deliver, and they did that. They did.
The bonus point home victory, exactly what was needed, and it shows you the standard of the league as well. I mean, Zebre had that win against Munster a couple of weeks ago, and they finished strongly against the Stormers last week. They're a tough nut to crack, tough to break down, probably more difficult than sometimes the expectation is when Glasgow had such a wonderful attacking performance last weekend in Cardiff, and you're hoping and looking for more of the same if you come to Scotland as a Glasgow Warriors supporter. But all you can get is 5 points. They did that. It's good. Huw Jones with 2 tries. Dobie looking sharp on the wing. You've got the obligatory Johnny Matthews driving ball try, and Grant Stewart as well. So I think that there's a lot to be happy with. The thing to be most happy with was the defence. That you mentioned it, 0 tries conceded. Zebre had a lot more possession in the second half than Glasgow would have wanted, and they were physical. They were dangerous at times, the ball in hand out wide. But one of the biggest pluses, other than the 5-point victory for Glasgow, will be the fact that Zebre were unable to pick up a try.
And Glasgow Warriors can now head down to South Africa. Confident mood. They know that they can win down there. It's where they lifted the URC trophy back in June. First up, though,